In this video, we're going to be going through the workspaces. So the workspaces, like when you open up the Blender for the first time, you're going to be end up uh, in this workspace called layout, and normally it's the object mode. Uh, so we all of these over here next to the layout, uh, they are different workspaces. So we're gonna be so over here in the basic layout, you normally like we have been using that for moving the objects, scaling the objects, and we can also see the timeline. But like all these other workspaces, uh, either they do different stuff and they do different stuff, or the same stuff but they are customized for a particular operation. So in the modeling, right, so you have an object which is selected here. And so first of all, the difference is that it starts with the edit mode, where it is expecting that you're gonna be uh, like you're gonna be editing the model of the object, and then like it lets you select the vertices. So if you have multiple uh, of these, like you can actually move them, right? uh, and like so it lets you move the vertices independently of the object. So it's not like you are just making the changes to the uh, object. It is basically it's gonna it's to me it looks very uh, it's a very powerful tool that you can actually take the vertex and then move it anywhere you want, right? And then uh, there are a lot of tools you can go through it, that the extrude region, the insert faces over here. So it has like, in order to go through it, maybe we will make another video for that. But there are a lot of tools where you can actually do uh, to the individual faces or vertices, and that would be this modeling, right? There are other ones: the vertex paint, the weighted paint, the texture paint, the sculpt mode. These are different modes which are uh, provided, right, uh, inside the same one, right? So basically it's gonna let you allow you to, depending on what kind of, like, you are using pinch or scrape or grab, stuff like that. So depending on which tool you have been using, it's gonna let you select a different object here, right? Sorry about that. So so the particular filter we have been using in this case, actually moving depending on where we are, is actually creating uh, like moving the object of multiple locations. Again, it depends on what filter you have been using over here. So this is where you will do the modeling, and again, the normally used mode is the edit mode, where you have all these uh, choices of like how you want to move like how you want to model the object. Okay, sculpting is again uh, the one which we actually were here and we went to the sculpt mode. So instead of doing that, they have like this one as a workspace, and you can definitely, as what we were uh, doing here. Oops, don't want to go outside of the box, right? So depending on again the filter which you are using, you can actually do a lot with the objects. And like there are, you have to try them out, like there are a lot of things, like a lot of modes, and like how they're gonna be moving the object and stuff like that, and how exactly you can what there are so many things you can do with the object in the sculpting mode. So again, modeling, but like we have different uh, like this is a different mode, and consider a different workspace too. Okay, the UV editor, and then the texture paint. Okay, and shading and animation. Okay, Okay, let's go with the UV editor. UV editor actually, uh, what uh, it normally does is like if you have an object here, right? Let's say it's a cube. Let's just move it a little bit here, right? Something like this one, and then you go to the UV editor. You would see that some of the objects, like let's say the one which I have selected right now, this one is stretched out, right? Oops, let's just pan it so we can see, right? So this cube, right? This cube over here has been stretched out, and this has become like this one. Like, so basically, if if they actually take apart all the faces, that cube is gonna look like this one. And then you can play with it like individually. You can annotate it, what exactly you want to do with it, and what do you want the like what exactly you want to do it with the in the UV editing, in this model where this one the object gets stretched out. So let's say if I select this object and then you go to the UV editing, you would see that it couldn't do much about this object and couldn't put it into that UV map. So there are limitations over there, but like for some of the objects which are basically like, oops. So if this object is selected, right? Object is selected and you are entering into the UV modeling. Uh, oh, this is because all of it is in the vertices. Sculpting, modeling, node, layout. Okay, let's just move it here. Yep, and then go to the UV editing. Selection of this. Now there's an object. Oh, it is just moving the vertices now. Okay, so basically, yes, over here now, if you look at here, the face has been selected and has been stretched out, and you can do the operations on the in the UV model or UV map. The same is gonna work for the texture over here, where you can select over again. We have been selecting the just a face, and that is shown over here. So uh, that being said, like if you actually uh, do the modeling over here, it's gonna or change the color or change the texture of that. It is gonna display on the left hand side. In the shading, it's gonna show you how it's gonna look like, how the object is gonna look like when it is in the when you're gonna be rendering it in 3D animations. So how the object is gonna look like, and like so you can actually see that one. In the animations, again, you have been given this timeline, and they have customized it so that you can actually uh, like basically customize it so that you can actually look at the timeline, and then um, you can uh, like create the animations much more easily because of all the timelines and related functionality has been given over here. And we will be creating the animations in another video. Rendering is like if you how it would like how the object is gonna look like once you will render it. If you have already rendered an object before, it's gonna display over here. um, composting Compositing and scripting uh, are the other ones over here. uh, you can actually use the nodes. So basically you can actually use the nodes and their relationship to the objects over here. And in the scripting you can write the Python code. You can actually use either uh, a script, and over here again we are inside the box right now. Remember this one, we are not like we don't have uh, and over here. So maybe you wanna do a lot of things, and then you what you will do is like uh, right. So you would do something over here, uh, and then you can actually frame do an operation in this model, and it's gonna show you what command to use over here, and then you can paste it in your code if you want to see like how you would do that thing in the command line. And again, this is basically scripting. If you want to achieve something using the scripts, you're going to be using that. You can create your like either if you want it to be into one of the workspace and you don't find it over there, you can definitely add it over here inside, like uh, that animation or that sorry that workspace should be in one of these. uh, Over here you can also customize your own, like you can also create your own uh, like a workspace, and then you can save it like that. So that's all guys, like we're gonna be covering this much in this video.